Africa is abundantly blessed with natural gas resources. Nigeria alone holds 210 trillion cubic feet of proven gas reserves, with the potential to double that figure with proper investment and exploration. Similarly, several other African countries, from Algeria to Mozambique, from Senegal to Equatorial Guinea, are endowed with vast gas resources. Natural gas is not just a commodity, it is a catalyst. It is a fuel for power generation, a feedstock for fertilizer and petrochemicals, a cleaner cooking alternative, and a driver of industrialization. As Africa navigates the global energy transition, gas remains our bridge fuel, balancing the need for development with environmental stewardship. While Africa is rich in gas, our markets remain fragmented. Much of the gas produced on the continent is exported overseas as LNG or through transcontinental pipelines, bypassing neighboring countries in dire need of energy. This paradox must change. To unleash the true potential of Africa's gas, we must foster intra-African gas trade, trading among ourselves, building markets with our regions, and connecting infrastructure across borders. This is not just a commercial imperative, it is a strategic one. The African Continent Free Trade Area presents us with historic opportunities to reimagine intra-African energy trade. By reducing barriers, harmonizing regulations, and investing in intra-boundary infrastructure, we must make African gas work for African people. Nigeria is fully committed to driving intra-African gas cooperation. Under the leadership of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, gas has been declared the transition fuel for Nigeria, and we are implementing several initiatives to deepen domestic utilization and expand regional trade. The West African Gas Pipeline, WAPI, continues to transport Nigerian gas to Benin Republic, Togo, and Ghana, supporting power generation and industry across the region. The Transatlantic Gas Pipeline, also known as the Nigeria-Morocco Gas Pipeline, is a transformational project spanning over 5,000 kilometers and set to link Nigerian gas reserve to 13 African countries, eventually connecting to Europe via Morocco. This project is not just about the energy supply. It is about economic integration, regional cooperation, and shared prosperity across Africa and beyond. The Trans-Sahara Gas Pipeline, in collaboration with Niger and Algeria, aims to deliver gas from Nigeria through North Africa into Europe, while enabling supply to Saharan countries en route. We have recently signed a bilateral agreement with the Republic of Equatorial Guinea on the Nigeria-Equatorial Guinea Gas Pipeline project, which will serve the development of about 180 kilometers offshore pipeline, transporting Nigerian gas to Punta Europa for processing and export, and eventually for regional trade as well. Nigeria is also pursuing robust domestic infrastructure projects, such as the Ajakuta-Kaduna gas pipeline and the OB3 gas pipeline, which will unlock stranded gas, reduce flaring, and improve connectivity to northern and central Nigeria and beyond. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Africa must move with urgency to build a continental gas ecosystem. To do this, we must, one, invest in infrastructure. Pipelines, LNG hubs, virtual pipelines, and interconnectors are the arteries of gas trade. African countries must collaborate to fund and construct these critical assets. To create harmonized regulations, we must work towards aligned fiscal regimes, standardized metering and pricing, and streamline a cross-border framework to encourage private investment and trade. Leverage regional institutions. Organizations like ECOWAS, the African Union, and the African Energy Commission should actively promote gas diplomacy, project coordination, and knowledge sharing. Empower local participation. Local content development, skills transfer, and intra-African partnership will be key to ensuring that African businesses and citizens benefit from this gas-driven transformation. Let us be clear, Africa's future energy security cannot depend solely on the export of raw resources. We must use our gas to generate African power, produce African fertilizer, manufacture African goods, and create African jobs. Intra-Africa gas trade is not an option. It is a necessity. It holds the promise of energy affordability, economic resilience, and regional integration. It is also a vehicle for peace and cooperation, because when we share energy, we share prosperity. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I urge all stakeholders gathered here today, governments, investors, regulators, and innovators, to commit to a new era of intra-African energy partnership. Nigeria stands ready to work with our brothers and sisters across the continent to turn our gas wealth into shared wealth. Let us seize this moment. Let us build a future where African gas powers African growth.
This is a continent awakening. The language of electrons, infrastructure, and interconnectivity now speaks directly to our collective aspirations for prosperity, resilience, and unity. This reminds us of a simple but powerful truth. Africa is not energy poor, but energy rich. We are blessed with abundant sunlight, powerful rivers, strong winds, and beneath our earth lie critical minerals and natural resources. Most importantly, we are rich in human capital, ingenious, entrepreneurial, and resilient. And yet, far too many of our fellow Africans remain in the dark. Power systems remain fragmented. Energy costs remain high. This is not due to the lack of resources, but lack of integration and coordination. On behalf of Her Excellency, I echo her strong conviction that intra-Africa energy trade is not just about infrastructure. It is about opportunity. Every megawatt shared across our borders can light up a classroom, power a health. That is why Her Excellency, the Vice President, continues to champion regional energy cooperation through frameworks such as the West Africa Power Pool and the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. These are not abstract policies. They are instruments of shared progress and regional transformation. Ghana is proud to take its place as a key partner in this effort, investing actively in cross-border energy connections and believing firmly in a future where no African child is left in darkness, and not by accident, but by deliberate choice and solidarity. Her Excellency acknowledges that sustainable energy must begin in our homes, especially in our kitchens, and the government of Ghana remains firmly committed to advancing the clean cooking agenda in alignment with our climate goals and the Paris Agreement. Through initiatives such as the National LPG Promotion Policy and the gas recirculation model, we are creating a safer and healthier cooking environment, particularly for women and children. Through partnership like the World Bank and the KfW supported program for resource and the agreement with South Korea's Climate Change Center to distribute about 500,000 improved cook stoves, we are seeing a tangible improvement in both environmental outcomes and human health. These are the kind of people-centered, climate-smart energy solutions that Her Excellency, the Vice President, continues to prioritize. The Vice President, I reaffirm government's commitment to developing these resources responsibly through the work of institutions such as the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation and the Ghana Integrated Iron and Steel Development Corporation. Ghana is pursuing integrated value chain to ensure that we do not simply export raw materials, but add value, create jobs, and retain wealth on our continent. The future of energy is Africa, and that future begins with us here and now together. On behalf of the Vice President, Her Excellency Professor H.E Jane Opoku Agyemang, I thank you for your attention and look forward to a productive and forward-looking dialogue.
We must provide not only access to sustainable, affordable, and reliable energy, but also manage our energy mix with technological intelligence. AI offers us that intelligence. It enables us to analyze vast data sets, predict outcomes, and automate complex systems. In the energy sector, this translates to smarter grids, optimized production, predictive maintenance, and real-time decision-making. For Africa, it means the opportunity to build a resilient, efficient, and inclusive energy future, one that is not only technologically advanced, but also socially equitable. AI is already revolutionizing the broader energy ecosystem. Smart grids powered by AI can balance loads across distributed energy sources, detect faults in real time, and prevent outages. AI enhances renewable energy integration by forecasting solar and wind availability, enabling better storage and distribution in heavy industries. AI-driven automation reduces energy consumption. In homes and buildings, intelligent systems adjust lighting, heating, and cooling based on occupancy and behavior, delivering both comfort and conservation. Revolutionizing our energy mix must go hand in hand with the broader digital transformation of Africa.
Oil, we export 75% of the oil that we produce and 45% of the gas that we produce. Yet, Africa is the continent with the largest proportion of its population living without access to energy. Nearly 1 billion Africans do not have access to what you call modern energy for cooking and domestic use. over 600 million Africans, do not know what electricity is all about. Seriously, I think that if we are to do this for 5 to 10 years, Africa will be different. But are we prepared? And when I say this, I'm talking about the elites, including myself. Are we prepared to do this? China didn't get to where it is today without making the sacrifice needed by saying, look, there's a limit to what you can import from outside. We start production, even if it's not good, with time we'll develop it. But every single African, even somebody who is not a middle-class person, his aspiration is he wants to wear suits from Europe, from America, etc. I think this is the challenge.
Protocol, which is really critical, and this is the protocol on digital trade. So if we are going to implement the protocol on digital trade that is going to facilitate digital trade in the continent, we have to have electricity. And on that note, we also need to have internet, well-performing internet services. But the internet services can only be powered by electricity. So we have to start with the energy sector before we can get to actually be able to deal with the intra-African trade that we're talking about. Because even to move the goods from one country to another, we need petroleum. So we will need the petroleum for the energy or petroleum energy for the air transport, if we're going to use aviation. If we're going to use maritime, we will need the petroleum for the ships. If we're going to use roads, we will also need the petroleum for the cars. And of course, we are moving also to electric cars, which still means we will need the electricity to be able to power the cars. So you see the essence of the energy services sector and why it's critical component for enabling intra-African trade. And that is why even for us at the AFCFTA, we actually had to address issues related to the energy-related sector. And we have a study that has been commissioned by His Excellency Wamkele Mene to ensure that we are able to look at what are the critical issues that need to be addressed in the continent so as to be able to have proper energy and also to push and invest in renewable energy in the continent.